This is my review for the fourth book of Harry Potter. And I'm not even going to give an intro or anything, because no one likes intros. And the Goblet of Fire, one of the things that I didn't really like about it is the beginning 200 pages. Oh my gosh. So, this book is just a big step from the previous books. The third book was 400 pages, and the books before that were around 300. And the Goblet of Fire just went to around 730 pages. It is long, much longer than any of the other books in the series so far. And that means just the events are going to be dragged out. It's not going to be like, oh, all of a sudden, they're Christmas now it's the end of the year, and, like, super fast. No, it's going to be like, there's this long process. Like, it feels like it's actually a year long. It still doesn't feel like a year long, but, and I made this review so late. I'm already finished with the Order of the Phoenix book. I still have to watch the movie before I give my review, so that's going to be another week. But, yeah, the Goblet of Fire had this huge intro. They didn't even get into the... they didn't even go to Hogwarts until this far into the book. That is not a good thing. When I don't want to, like, have to watch this Quidditch World Cup and just them with the Weasleys all day for a long time. I want to see them actually, like, at Hogwarts doing the Triwizard stuff. And that's where I think this book is best. This book is best during the middle when when they're doing the first couple tasks, or all the tasks actually, and in between them two, where it's just like fun. It's not slow, it's not boring, because it's fun. The Hogwarts stuff is fun. But I just think that it just dragged too much stuff out. Like, it felt longer than the other ones. Like, the Order of the Phoenix, I really enjoyed the Order of the Phoenix, but then the Order of the Phoenix did drag out stuff more than the other ones, but it still felt, the Goblet of Fire felt longer than the Order of the Phoenix, even though the Order of the Phoenix is like 100 pages longer than the Goblet of Fire. Because the Order of the Phoenix just had better pacing, well, the Goblet of Fire has struggled with pacing. I'm saying a lot of bad stuff about the Goblet of Fire. I'm going to say stuff about the good things. This is a spoiler-free review, so I can't go too much into it, but Harry and most of the characters, maybe, like, even all of them, besides for, like, a couple, just had so much character development in this book. From the beginning to the end, just, you see these the characters, and they're changed from, like, the first couple books. And I think that's really good, how they do that. A big thing about this is, like, the Yule Ball, which I wasn't a big fan of. I just thought that it was like, oh, okay, whatever. And if I had to rank the tasks, like, if I had to, like, rank the 3 tasks from worst to best, the worst one would be the first one, and then it just gets better as it goes on. The first one, it just gets more exciting. The third one is the best task, and I think especially the ending to the third task, just so shocking. And it's like, we've never had this kind of moment before. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but right after the third task, something very weird happens. And you don't normally get that in Harry Potter books. But then, this book had something, like, so shocking. I already knew what was going to come, but it's just so shocking, and it's like, whoa, that just happened. It's like, you never expect this book series, at least when this book came out, to have something like that. And then it did, and it just did it so well. I thought the movie, that was even better during the movie. But yeah, one thing I wish that it's like, okay, is that event happens, and then it just, like, doesn't give you any time to sit with it. It's just like, okay, it's done, moving on. We gotta show the stuff about the plot, and yeah. I wasn't a big fan of that. But yeah, the one thing is also, something I really did not like about this book, especially, is that, especially with the pacing, there is chapters in here where it's just people talking for, like, the whole thing. There's people just, like, saying, like, there's, I don't want to give, like, any spoilers and stuff, but there's this moment in, I'm not going to give you a spoiler for the 4th book, but for the 5th book, it's not really a spoiler. It's just, like, Hagrid talks for the entire chapter of what he's been doing. And it's like, okay, I mean, they handled the Hagrid one fine, but the ones in here, it's literally just, especially the one at the end, the chapter 35, verse Veritaserum, it's just character explaining throughout the entire chapter, and it's just so exhausting, and I never pay attention, really. And it's just like, oh, yeah, stuff happened. They also had one at the end of the 5th book with Dumbledore talking, which I think is done pretty well, but still, it's like, okay. And nothing really important happens. Nothing that you care about happens during those moments, for me at least. And it's like, they just happen. So I'm not really, like, such a big fan of those. But yeah, The Goblet of Fire wasn't a bad book. I still really enjoyed it. But it's just maybe a little disappointing, because I know a lot of people say that The Goblet of Fire is the best book. And it's just, like, it's okay. It's a pretty standard Harry Potter book. I don't think it's the worst Harry Potter book. I don't think it's the best Harry Potter book. It's just, like, okay. And that's all it was. It was okay. Now I'm going to get on to the movie. Now, the movie of The Goblet of Fire is quite different from the book, because the book is, like, super long. I was, like, kind of confused. Like, I was, like, on one hand, I was, like, okay, well, at least it's, like, they're going to have more time, or, no, they're not going to have more time, but they're going to have less time to talk about, just have these chapters where people just talk and stuff. There's going to be less time where people are just talking for the whole chapter, and there's going to be more time for, like, all the important plot stuff. But, and then on the other hand, they made it really weird, where, they drag out scenes in the movie that didn't need to be there, and it made it just more confusing. Like, it felt like, oh, they should have spent more time at the end on the Veritaserum whatever chapter, just to make it more easier to understand. Nope, that was like a minute. Okay, not a minute, but it was like, I was so confused when watching the movie. Like, I read the book and I was like, okay, I think I understand. I watched the movie and I was like, what? I'm still confused. And the Goblet of Fire movie was just like, okay, I'm rating these different, and I put the Goblet of Fire movie rating higher than, I think higher, I'm not sure, you have to check the description, but I think I put it higher than the book, but I'm rating them two differently. I'll do a ranking of all the movies and all the books when I finish with the Fantastic Beasts, the Cursed Child, and the Harry Potter series. I'm going to rank all the movies and all the books together, and yeah, but the Goblet of Fire movie just felt so weird. They also cut a lot of stuff out. Now, one thing I think that was such a weird choice when I was watching the movie, but it was actually a good choice, is that they basically cut, like, the first 50 pages off. And it's like, wow, they're just at Ron's house. Okay. Instead of, like, oh, they're at the Dursleys, they're doing things, yeah, you know what's happening, oh, yeah. That's one of the things I don't really like, is just how long they spend at the beginning of the book. I'm kind of nervous about the 6th book, because I know the 6th book is much shorter than the 5th book, but I don't know how long it's going to take for them to actually get to Hogwarts. And, yeah, the 6th book, I've already read the Harry Potter series before. I don't remember much about them. The 6th book, though, was my favorite. I don't know if it's still my favorite, but it was my favorite. So, we'll see if it's still my favorite, because I haven't even started it yet, but, yeah. And I just thought that the Goblet of Fire movie and the book were just so average. Like, I wasn't, like, expecting much out of the Goblet of Fire. It's not one of the books where I was like, oh yeah, I really enjoyed that one, or I really didn't like that one. It was just one that I really didn't have an opinion of. The movie, same. Don't really remember I didn't really remember the book that well. And it's like, okay, so I just thought it was an average one, and yeah, that's what I got, an average Harry Potter book, and it's just, yeah, nothing that really made me go, oh, that's really cool, or oh, that's amazing. I really enjoyed that. It's just like, okay, the plot was okay. The characters were good. It was really fun once in the middle of the book and the movie. The end of the book and the movie and the beginning of the book and the movie were really slow, and were just really like, okay. I mean, the movie and the Goblet of Fire, they handled the beginning much better, where they made it so it's actually going much faster. But I think the book is just so slow at the beginning. I rated the book an 82%, so that means I don't think it's my least favorite, but it's definitely not in my favorites. And yeah, it's just like the most average one, Harry Potter book, which, I mean, it's second to last, so it's not that bad. If it's like an average book is at an average Harry Potter book, I think that's just saying that how good the series is. And the 5th book was amazing, and when my review next week comes out, I'm literally going to be talking for like 50 minutes straight. Just kidding, I'm not going to talk that long, but yeah, that was one thing. I think the thing that the Goblet of Fire did best was the character development. It just like felt that you can feel the character development happening much more than the other ones. And yeah, I forgot what I put in the movie, but I'll put it in the description. I think it was like an 80 or an 83, something around that. But the book is an 82, and I am not rating the books and the movies the same. I'm rating them differently. But I'm rating the movies and the books, like, if I rate book 7 in 92 and book 6 98, that means book 6 is better than book 7. But if I rate the movies, the book 4 in 83, or if I rate book 4 a 97 and book 5 in 82, or movie 5 in 82, I'm confusing myself. That doesn't mean that I like the book, just because they rated the Goblet of Fire movie better than the book. If I did, I don't remember. Doesn't mean I like the movie better, because they're two different things, but it does mean that if comparing it to other movies, that does mean I like that movie better. I don't know, I'm confusing myself. But anyways, that's what I thought about it. I thought the Goblet of Fire was pretty average, but I still thought it was good. And the Order of the Phoenix is so amazing, and I'm super excited to start the 6th book, because that's the one that I thought was the best. Remember, I actually have 2 copies of that, because I kept one, and then I bought the book set again. I don't know. And then I'm going to do the Fantastic Beasts series after, and I'm never going to do the Grishaverse again. Just kidding. I will do that eventually after. But yeah, Harry Potter, it's getting really good. Okay, bye.